Hi, I'm Bob McGill. Welcome back. This is the second video in the series of four. This is called Judge Your Beliefs. This is the second video of the series I'm calling Four Steps Closer. So this is step two. And step one, we talked about guarding our thoughts, controlling the things that we see, the things that we hear, the things that we think about, how those things can enter into our mind and um, control our thoughts. And we need to be in control of our own thoughts. And we need to guard our thoughts. And because the things that we think about over and over and over again form our beliefs. And that's what we need to talk about now. So this section is called Judge Your Beliefs. And it's got the little scales there because we're going to have good and bad beliefs. And we need to judge them. And we need to think about what we actually believe. Like I said, the things that we think about over and over become our belief. And what does that mean? Well, in our life experience, if you see your parents always say, when you grow up, you got to get a job to earn your own money to make your life. And you see people that don't have a job, that they're living on the street maybe. Well, then you start to believe, okay, to make a good living, I need a job. To get a job, I got to do certain things. So that's a belief. That's just an example. Another belief is money is the root of all evil, and that's not actually the case. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil, but people have changed that to say money is the root of all evil. So that's another belief. So we have beliefs about many things. We have beliefs about money, marriage, relationships, health, whatever. And these beliefs can be positive or negative. And we got, like I said, many beliefs over many areas. An easy way to think about what a belief is, it's the thought that comes immediately to your mind when you start talking about something. So you say, somebody says, yeah, I don't know, income, finances, whatever. And you immediately think, oh, I never have enough money. Or I wish I had more money. Or, oh, they're going to ask for my money. That's just whatever pops in your head when you start thinking about something. It's a pretty good indicator of your belief. So a lot of times, if we have a thought, if we've never thought about it before, if we don't have a belief in that area, then we'll start thinking about it more. But a lot of times, if something happens, we see or hear something, the first thing that pops into our head that comes from within us, that's one of our beliefs. So, example, if I start a sentence, I say, this is how I feel about money. I always blank. And you fill in the blank. So, some people's belief about money is, I always seem to spend it faster than I get it. Well, that's a belief. That could be based in fact, but that is your belief. Another belief is, I always have more than enough. Well, hey, that's interesting. Okay. So another thought is, belief could be, God gives me what I need in the perfect timing. Okay, that's another belief. So you can see that one of these is a negative belief. I always spend it faster than I get it. I never have enough. Those are kind of a negative belief. And our goal is to try to change those into something more positive. So, what are some of the sources of our beliefs? Well, our beliefs can come from many different sources. So, radio, TV, newspaper. So, if we believe that the world is going to end in 10 years because Al Gore told me to in 1980. Okay, well, that's a belief. Did it happen? No. Well, but based on that, people change their lives. They get it in. They filled with fear, whatever. Another source of belief is Bible and religion. If you read the Bible, do a study, there's a lot of good things in it, and there's a lot of stories and warnings about bad things. Sometimes religion Um, can be a negative influence, a source of negative beliefs is like, oh, you're going to burn in hell. Oh, hey, whoa, whoa. Another belief from religion is God loves you and wants to take care of you. Hey, that's a good belief. Um, our culture, different cultures believe different things. I can't go into whether they're good or bad. They just are. Um, so Hispanic culture is different than, white American culture. That's just a difference. If I when I go to Honduras, my wife is from Honduras. When I go to Honduras, people live differently there. They believe different things. It just is. It is just what it is. Um, some of our beliefs are passed down through our parents. It's like, well, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat, and all my family is, and you're going to be also. Oh, okay. So our parents pass down a lot of beliefs. Sometimes we get our beliefs from our friends. Um, just, hey, everybody's out to get us, or hey, we're the best, we're the baddest, we're. So, your friends have an influence over your thoughts and beliefs as well. And then, for a lot of things, as we get older and we start learning, um, personal observations, thoughts, experience. So, things that we've gone through in our life, we can look at it and form a belief about that as well. And so, those are sources of beliefs. Um, what I want to talk about really is how do we judge whether a belief is good or bad, a positive or negative? Well, think about a belief and consider how it makes you feel. And if you say it out loud, does it make you feel hopeful and empowered, or do you feel fearful or a victim? Um, that's how you know whether it's a positive or a negative belief. So if you state something that you believe and it makes you feel angry, fearful, or victimized, it's a negative belief. And if you say something that you believe out loud and it makes you feel hopeful or it makes you feel empowered, that's a positive belief. And when you get down to it, just about all of our beliefs will be a positive or negative. Sometimes a belief will just be comforting. Well, okay, we could possibly classify that as a positive belief, but we just have to be careful. Is it comforting, or is it because of fear that we don't want to get into something? So as we start judging our beliefs, we actually need to take the time, and this is why I said um, this might be the hardest step. Guarding our thoughts is very difficult. This might be the actual step that's hardest for most people because we don't want to take the time and effort to examine ourselves, examine what we believe, examine why we believe it. So, um, what are some things that can be positive or negative? Belief about being rich. Is it a sin or is it a blessing? So, if you read the Old Testament, Abraham, the covenant with Abraham, he was rich. Dude was rich, and Solomon was even richer. So, in the Old Testament, there's these the being rich was a sign of blessing. Being poor was a sign of not being blessed. But a lot of people say, oh well, all rich people are criminals or all rich people are sinners. Okay, um, how does that make you feel when you say it out loud? Uh, rich people are sinners. Okay, if you really break that down, you're judging someone. That's your belief. You're judging them, and it's kind of a negative belief because you're basically saying if I'm poor, I'm not a sinner. It's I don't know. There's a lot of mental gymnastics, so we'll need to we'll go through some exercises here in a few minutes to examine some of these beliefs. Um, what's another belief? Belief about being healthy. Is sickness a punishment, or it, I grew up in a church where there was a lot of people who had a lot of physical infirmities, and one of the things they liked to say was, "I'm suffering for Jesus," and it bothered me because everywhere that I read in the New Testament, Jesus didn't go around making people sick. Jesus went around healing people. Jesus didn't need us to suffer for him. But, you know, some people put it that way. Sickness, is it healthy sickness, whatever. Um, what do you think about your health? Are you suffering for Jesus, or is God making his will known through your infirmity? I don't know. I can't judge that. You have to judge it for yourself. But our beliefs about health and sickness will also um, be something we need to examine. What about our self worth? If we grew up and people told us, "Oh, you'll never amount to anything. You're not worth it. You can't do that. Don't even try. Don't bother. Nobody's gonna like." Well, wow, that's a lot of negative beliefs being poured right into it. You know, I think it's bad when and parents do that kind of stuff. But then there's the other extreme. Oh, you're the best. You're the most pretty, the most smart, blah blah blah. Don't do that either. But you know, how do we feel about ourselves now as an adult? How do we feel like you're worth it? Do you feel like you're worth it? Do you feel like you can make a difference? Do you believe that if you change some things about you, that you could make a difference? Well, we'll talk about that soon. Another belief, and this is kind of a funny one, belief about marriage. I'm trying to be facetious here. Is it it's until death and I want to die, or is it a joyous and loving relationship? Some people believe marriage is to be miserable. Um, some people believe you're stuck with them till the day you die. Doesn't matter what they do to you, you got to suffer through it. Um, or is it ordained by God with someone you love in a healthy, loving relationship? What do you believe about marriage? Is it a chain, or is it freedom to be who you are with someone you love? And you know, I'll be honest. I've lived both extremes. Um, I I had goods and bads in my first marriage, and this is me being honest. I had goods and bads, but towards the end, it started to be more bad than good. And finally, after 23 years, I got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore, and I had to leave. And I went through some dark times. And if it weren't for the prayers of my father and mother and people who love me, looking after me, I might not have been here today. But as a result of a lot of things that happened in my life, I met a wonderful woman, and we've been married 3 years now, and it is just a joyous and loving relationship. Our family, it's quite different. So I've been on both extremes of that belief, and I can tell you, marriage can be good. But anyway, let's look at some ways that we can alter these beliefs. Okay, and this is the part that's going to be difficult. Um, we can A lot of times, if we take a negative belief, we can reword it to be something more positive. So here's a negative belief. I never have enough money to do what I want. And you've heard people like that. Remember, the negative people you don't want to associate with. Well, this is one of their beliefs. I never have enough money. Everybody else has money, but I don't. Whatever. And if you believe that, then what we need to do is we need to try to change that. Why do you believe that? And how can we change it? What's something we could think about, change our thought to change our belief? And a positive belief: God provides me with what I need for this time in my life. And think about that statement for a minute. What do you need right now? I need to pay the bills. Okay, true. I need to buy food. Okay, well, you need food. You need to eat. Uh, Sometimes, you know, I've been in situations where I had to donate plasma to buy groceries. That's a rough situation. I wasn't working, and the only way I could buy food was to go and donate plasma, which is a really hard thing, really rough circumstance. And I know there's people who have it even worse. But at this point in my life, I look back at that and I was like, God was teaching me, don't give up. There are alternatives. There's a way to do things. Um, so we need to change that. Sometimes the things that we want to do aren't the things that we need to do. So that's one way we can start thinking about things. God provides me with what I need for this time in my life right now, and that'll you start thinking that thought over and over, and it will start coloring your thoughts and it'll start changing your beliefs. There's another negative belief. I'm sick because sickness runs in my family. Diabetes, heart disease, overweight, whatever. That is a belief, and you know, is when you say it like that, that takes away your power. It takes away your um, worthiness, because now it's dependent on your family. You're sick because your family was sick. You're sick. You're not healthy because your family. So you're a victim of your family. Is basically what you're saying. You're a victim of whatever, and that is not an empowering belief. That is, it takes away your power, and it makes you feel less hopeful. It makes you feel victimized. Um, Positive belief. Let me see if I can get my head out of the way here. God wants me to be healthy and sent Jesus to overcome sickness and disease. I will believe in God and do my part in taking care of my body. So um, that second part there, I believe in God's power and I will do my part in taking care of my body. Now that's some people stop at the first but never do the second, and we need to change that. Yes, God can heal. God will heal. But if you continue smoking 5 packs a day of cigarettes, or eating, 5 cheeseburgers at lunch and another 4 or 5 for a snack, you're not going to get any better. You need to put down that 1 pound bag of marshmallows that you were going to have for breakfast, and maybe have, toast and eggs. Just an example. That's doing your part to help take care of you and believing in God's will for your life. And you start doing those things and you start thinking, hey, I can do my part to take care of my body. That's a change in belief. Where one is, I'm sick or overweight or whatever because of my family or because of this situation, that situation. That's a negative, victimizing belief. We change it to say, I will believe in God. I will do something to take care of myself and make a difference. So we change that. Here's another one, and this is a big catch-all. I'm only human. I can't help it when I blank. I can't help it when I lie. I can't help it when I steal. I can't help it when I do drugs. I can't help it when I drink. I can't help it when I beat my wife. Whatever. These are all negative beliefs. They're making excuses and saying that it's out of your control, that you can't help it. It's just something you gotta do. And that is not a powerful belief. It is a negative, victimizing belief, because you're the victim of some circumstance and you just can't control it. So a more positive belief. Let me get out of the way here. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, and with God all things are possible, and I can overcome this addiction. I can overcome this situation. I can overcome whatever. So these are just some examples of negative beliefs and how we can reword them to make it more positive. So you can see the things that on the left side, those negative beliefs, if you say them out loud, you don't feel good. You don't feel empowered, and you do feel like a victim when you say them. Whereas the things on the right, if you say them out loud, it makes you feel a little hopeful. It gives you a sense of control over yourself. And that's basically what we want. We want you to feel like you're in control, well, more in control, and you're not a victim. And life doesn't just happen to you, but we can make changes in life, and you want to believe that. So here's an exercise, and take the time to do this. After the video, stop for a few minutes and try it out. So on a piece of paper, write your beliefs about different areas of your life, whether it's positive or negative. It doesn't matter. Just write some things you believe. use the examples I gave earlier. What do you believe about money? What do you believe about relationships? What do you believe about health? What do you believe about religion? What do you believe about politics? Hey, examine those beliefs as well. Nothing's off limits here. Write down what you believe, and then just get it out there. Write it down on a piece of paper, whether it's positive or negative. Now then, once you've written them out, say each one out loud, and really think about how it makes you feel when you say it out loud. Does it make you feel positive, hopeful, empowered? Or does it make you feel angry, judgmental, victimized, sad? Make a note, whether it's a positive or a negative. So for each thing that you've written down, you can put a little plus or a minus. Say, okay, yeah, that one makes me feel bad when I say it. This one makes me feel good. All right. Then on a different piece of paper, take all of those positive beliefs, everyone that's got a check mark or a plus or whatever, and put it on a different piece of paper. These are your existing positive beliefs that you're going to want to reinforce. Okay? And then take the time to reword each of those negative beliefs to make it more positive, just like we did in the example. Write the newly worded statement on the list with the positive beliefs. So you've copied over your positive ones, and now you're looking at your negative beliefs. Try to find a way to reword those negative beliefs to be more positive. If saying it makes you feel victimized, try to find a Bible verse maybe to contradict that, and then start saying that as a belief. Now, initially these are going to be thoughts, but a thought repeated often enough will become a belief. So now that original piece of paper where you had the positive and negatives, that's all mixed up, yeah, throw that away. You don't want to see that. We don't want to think about those negative beliefs anymore. All right? And start reading the paper with the reworded and the positive beliefs out loud 2 or 3 times a day. So maybe it's 5, 10 different things that you wrote down. Start reading it 2, 3 times, like in the morning, at lunch, when you go to bed. Take the time, if you have to, fold it up, put a document on your cell phone and your notes. Type it out. Do something. Actually take the time, look at it, and read it out loud. And there's a reason for this. Your thoughts will be affected by reading it, by saying it, and by hearing it. So we're using 3 different methods here to change our thoughts, to change that belief. So when we've we've got these positive beliefs, we read it, it's going in our eyes, we say it, our mouth starts saying it, we get used to the feeling those words in our mouth, because we may not be used to saying, how's your health? I'm getting better. I'm taking steps to make myself better. Or most time it's like, I'm suffering. We're used to saying that initial whatever. Well, say the positive thing out loud, and your mouth will get used to saying it. And you'll also be hearing your own words. And doing that, these 4 steps are actually kind of a feedback loop. So we've tried to guard our thoughts to get rid of the negative influences. Now we need to get rid of the negative beliefs that are within us by changing our thoughts. And we cycle back, and we guard our thoughts. Now we're putting in good thoughts. We're putting in thoughts that are hopeful, empowering, and what that's doing is it's changing out these negative beliefs that we have for positive ones. And as you do that, you'll notice that you'll start to feel better. Maybe there won't be any physical changes in your life. Maybe nothing changes immediately, and that's all right, because this is a process and it takes time. And like I said, this is a very difficult process, and most people aren't going to go past this. They don't want to take the time to examine why they feel a certain way or what they can do to change it. um, you don't want to take the time to think about it. And I challenge you, this is going to be one of the longer videos, and like I said, it's one of the more difficult ones. I hope you'll take the time to write them out. Actually take the time and examine your positive and your negative beliefs. Write them out, and let's try to make them more positive and start doing a feedback. All right. So that's all I have to cover on judging beliefs. In the next video, we'll talk about walking in faith. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.